great. So if you have problems hearing us, please let me know on YouTube in the comment section. All right, let me start by welcoming everybody, especially our guests today, Engineer Tunde. Tunde has been a mentee, a brother since 2021, I believe.
Yes.
Right. When he became part of the Blessman Academy Fellows that we mentored through grad school. And, I try to give everybody, some level of independence to do their stuff. And he was one of the people that really stood out in the group. So I'm happy to have him here today to share his vast experience, especially as it relates to funding and, getting loans, working through loans. And I understand that some of us here today, if you're watching this, you are probably thinking along that route of, getting loans, or you had an admission without funding. So you're at the right place. To start with, both of us did not have funding when we got here, but today is Tunde's day, so I'm going to let him talk a lot about that. But before we get into the questions, I want to just put out a disclaimer. This session was not sponsored by anybody, so we are only going to shoot straight here. I'm going to tell you all you need to know and what you need to know to decide.
Yes, sir.
In your own case. So we are not being sponsored. This is not a sponsored webinar. So all you are going to hear today is going to be the complete truth.
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome, Tunde. Just before we get into the questions, I know I introduced you briefly, but I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself in about 1-2 minutes.
All right.
How you got to where you are today and what you are doing presently.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Babatunde Owolabi. I am currently pursuing a master's program in civil engineering at the University of Alabama here in Tuscaloosa, United States. I started this journey. I joined the Bestman Academy in the year 2021. I reached out to him when I was trying to, get my admission into the USA. And with his vast array of knowledge, he guided myself and the other mentees in successfully gaining admission and also passing the visa interview and coming here to the USA. So I'll be sharing my little insights or my little knowledge on the Empower loan, how I, applied, got the loan approved, and went for my visa interview, and then used it to sponsor my program. So thank you for having me here once again.
Good. And importantly, we are going to talk about how to transition out of that, which I think is very important to
yes, sir.
People listening.
Yes.
All right. So let's start with options. So you mentioned Empower. Are there any other options apart from Empower that you know?
Yeah. While I was checking for loan options, then I came across I think a few, maybe 3 or 4. But I only focused more on Empower because you do not need a co-signer for the Empower loan as an international student, which is something very, very useful. Because as an international student for other private loan, you really do need a co-signer who is a US citizen or a permanent resident. But for the Empower loan, you do not need that. So that was why I focused more on just the Empower.
All right. So just for record's sake, do you still remember those other options? I'm trying to give people, all the options they can. Yeah,
I understand. Not really. I do not remember the order. I do not.
Okay. All right. So I'll still, see if we can get those names, and I can put it in the description under this video or in the comment section. I can pin it in the comment section. if we ever get those names, just for people that will watch this later. So
Okay, sir.
But I think we have established that Empower seemed to be the I don't want to say easiest, but at least one of the reasonable choices, especially if you don't have a co-signer.
Yes, sir.
So tell us how you got started, how you applied for this, and probably the documents that they need to see.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. First, I would like to list the application process, then I will talk about each process one after the other. For the first process, you have to check your loan eligibility. The second step is to fill out the initial form. The third step is the initial review. The fourth step is the document upload. Then the fifth step, I think, is the final review. And the last step is the loan certification and disbursement. So I will start with the first step, which is the loan eligibility. Empower supports over 400 schools in the US and Canada. And as you know, we have over 3,000 schools in the US. So that means they have some schools and programs they do not support. So for the first step, you need to go to the Empower site and check if your school and program is supported.
Okay.
So the first step is checking the loan eligibility, and it takes about, I think, 2 minutes to check. You just go to their website, you type in your school and your program. Then they'll get back to you immediately if they support that school and that program. Then the second step, if your school and your program is eligible for the loan, like it's supported by Empower, you put in for the initial, loan, like the initial application.
Okay.
Initial application takes about roughly 2 to 3 minutes. You just enter your name, your program, the school you're going to, and then your BVN. Yeah, your BVN. Those are the
BVN. Okay.
BVN number, your bank verification number.
Okay.
So immediately, Empower will reach out to you if you're eligible. Sometimes it takes up to 1 to 3 business days for the initial application, and sometimes you get the response immediately. Then once you complete the initial application stage, you move into the document upload. Once they get back to you that, okay, you've completed the initial application stage and you've been conditionally accepted, then you move on to the document upload stage. There are some documents that you need to upload, like your admission letter from the school, your admission letter, your resume or your CV. You need a photo ID, your home address verification form. In this case, you can use something like your utility bill just to verify your home country address, that you actually stay in this particular address. And in some cases, your standardized test result, like TOEFL, GRE, in some cases, they require that. For my case, they asked me to submit my GRE and my TOEFL because I actually told them I did it. So if you have any standardized test score, you can also upload it. And in some cases, also your transcripts.
Okay.
Those are optional, but you can, if you have it.
But if you have them, you should recommend we upload them.
I recommended you submit them.
Okay.
Once all this document has been submitted, it takes about 1 to 3 weeks to complete the final review. So Empower will go over this document submitted, they will verify from your bank, because you already give them your bank verification number, they will verify everything, they will verify your own country address and that. And then the final review stage is completed. Then they give you a support letter. They issue to you a support letter. This support letter is very, very important. I could remember I sent you my support letter when I got it. It's has your name on it, the name of the school, the amount of fund that you approve of, and your information, something like your information. So they issue out this support letter. This is the letter you send back to your school as your financial statement.
That's like your financial statement now. Okay.
And you can also take it to the for your interview, for your visa interview as
Definitely.
financial statement also. So that is for the final review stage. Then you'll be issued a support letter and unconditional loan offer. The first one is conditional loan offer after the initial stage, the initial application.
Okay.
You get a conditional offer, right? Then you submit a document, Then after the final review, Empower will issue you a support letter and unconditional loan offer, stating that, okay, you've been approved of so amount to study so program at so school. So it is program and school specific. You can't use that support letter for another school because it is program and school specific. It will state the program and the school you are going for. Then after the final review, then the loan disbursement and certification. Empower reaches out to your school to verify that, okay, so person wants to study this so and will be sponsoring this education.
Okay.
Then the school verifies and satisfy that, then Empower do the loan disbursement directly to the school.
So is that done before you get your I-20?
No, after you must have gotten your I-20, because you use the loan support letter to get your I-20.
Get your I-20 from the school. Okay. So I'm just trying to understand the point where they disburse the money. Is it going to be after you get to the United States?
Yeah, after you get to the United States, you have to give them the green light to disburse.
All right. So you have to reach out to Empower again.
Actually, they will reach out to you.
Okay.
If they can go ahead with the loan disbursement, because the visa interview, we still don't know if you're going to get a yes or a no.
Right.
So Empower reaches out to you if they should go ahead with the disbursement. Okay. So you have to give them your green light. Then they disburse the funds directly to the school. So the school takes out their own part, like the tuition fee, the fee for books, the health insurance, and the likes. Then they gives back the excesses back to the students.
All right. So that's like living expense, right?
Yeah, for your living expenses. Yeah.
Okay.
The excesses to the students.
All right, but the school removes their own first. So
yeah.
I want us to be clear that the money does not come to you directly, at least at the beginning.
They don't send the fund directly to the students. They rather send it to the school. Then the school deducts the tuition and the like. Then they send back the living expense to the students.
Okay, so let's pause there. We will come back to that later. Let's talk about your visa interview experience. Without funding, I think anyone that has been following this process or this channel will understand that we usually say, funding makes everything easier if you get funding from the school, right? So just tell us briefly about your visa experience using this financial statement from a loan company. How did that go?
The key moment, I would say, in my visa interview was tying back my loan payments to my home country. Showing my home country tied to my loan. I could remember you while we're still I'm still your mentee. Don't let me say why I'm still your mentee. I'm still your mentee. You purposely told us that we need to show our non-immigrant intent at least twice during our interview. That we need to show these people that we are coming back. So when I was asked, how do you intend to fund this program? I told the VO, okay, I have an approved student loan of so amount from Empower Finance. This loan covers my tuition fee, my living expenses, health insurance, and the likes. Then the key moment was tying it back to my own country. I told them the company where I currently work has an agreement in place with Empower already, that so percentage of my salary would be deducted monthly to cover up for the loan once I'm back to my country after my program. So the VO was like, oh, okay, so this money will be deducted automatically once you're back? I said, yes. That means I still have a job back home that I'm coming to, and there's an agreement in place already between my company and Empower Finance that so percentage of my salary should go to cover for the loan once I'm back. Right. So it kind of shows a tie back home to my country. I think that was the key moment, because after that very question, it was just a green light for me.
Good. Now I'm going to give you all the credit on that, because you are like the first person who got this loan and went through the interview process. So I never had that experience. So you did a great job tying. When I saw your transcript on that, I was like, it's it was just a great way of answering that question.
Thank you, sir. You taught us well, actually. We learned everything from you.
I'm going to give you all the credit on that. Oh, all right, so let's move on to, now you're in the US, the company sent the whole money. I don't know how much it was. So let me pause on that point. So do they approve everything you need? Like anything that you said, how do they decide the amounts that they give you?
Empower actually checks with the school. They verify, that is the verification and certification stage.
Okay.
They verify with the school the amount, the tuition amount, then they kind of estimate your living expenses for the duration of your program.
Right. Okay.
So they use that as a kind of a scale to weigh the amount you are applying for and the amount you will be approved for. I actually applied for about 40,000 and I was approved for 50,000 because they were like, oh, 40,000 won't be enough to cover the whole program. I should go for 50,000.
$50,000. Okay.
Yeah. So they kind of do their own verification and certification with the school. They send email correspondence to the school. They kind of reach out to the school to confirm.
Okay. All right. I think we are clear on that. All right. So now you're in the US.
Yes, sir?
I'm going to talk specifically about your experience now, okay, and see if we can generalize onto other things. So you go to the US and you got this loan. They sent the extra money to you, right? Now you are going through your first semester with this Empower funding. So how did other work that you have to do on campus? Can you still work, or are you still doing some other work on campus?
Can you come again? There was a glitch. There was a short.
Oh, okay. So I said, now that you have the loan, right? You've paid your tuition your first semester, and you have money for your living expense.
Yes, sir.
Did you still do some work? What was your plan in paying back this money?
Oh,
let's start with that.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. When I got to campus, I had at the back of my mind that I wasn't funded. I was on loan. So I can't live like, the rest of the guys who are funded. So I had it at the back of my mind that, I have to, cut all my expenses. I have to live below, like far below my budget. So when I got here, I applied for on-campus jobs. I applied to school dining, so I got a job. So I was using that to, pay back the loan. Because one of the cons of Empower is that you have to start paying right from school. You need to start paying.
All right, so that's one of the agreements, right? That when you get to campus, you need to start paying, no matter how small.
No matter how small, and that is also an advantage, because if you should make 6 months timely payment, you get an interest rate discount.
Okay, yeah, so we are going to get to all the terms and
that also works to my own advantage. So when I got to campus, my first, the first thing at the back of my mind is that I have to start paying back this loan, no matter how small. So I applied for jobs on campus, the campus dining, I was working there. Then I was using that to pay back the loan. I was supposed to be paying some certain amount, like $200 monthly, but I ended up paying like $500 every month because I wanted to, cover up the loan quickly.
Right.
And so the SSCs gotten back from the loan as my living expenses, I wasn't living on a high. So I actually cut down all my expenses because I wasn't funded, I was on loan. I was using that SSCs also to pay back the loan, So I made 6 months on time payment. So I got interest rate discount. That was one of my aim also, one of my goals that I need to get this discount. I'm going to talk about the discount also because there are some certain criteria you meet, you get some interest rate discount. So I think I will also touch that.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a minute.
So I used the on-campus jobs to start paying back the loan right from my first semester.
Okay, so that's a good point to note. When you have this money, you cannot just. The best thing is to get to campus and start thinking of ways to pay back this money. Some people get to campus because they have the money, right? they will probably not do anything and maybe focus on their studies, which is great. But if you can do both, many people do both at the same time, work and study.
Yes,
But you can only work on campus legally.
yes, you can only work on campus.
So you should note that. All right. So now that so I understand now, like about a semester into your program, you now got funded. So how did that go? So what would you advise people in that area when you get to campus? Now start looking for opportunities to actually get, assistantships that will fund you for the rest of your program. So what was your experience in, getting that? How did you strategize to get that funding on campus?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Like you usually say, the opportunities are numerous on campus. You just need to get here for it to, to find them. When I got here, I didn't keep a closed mouth. I kept an open mouth. I was talking to my friends, the international students, some of the students here who also use the loan. I was, constantly in touch with them, talking to them. How do you, get out of this loan? How do you get your assistantship? I volunteered in labs free of charge just to work for them, to work for professors. I was constantly in touch with my professors, my department head, even professors from other departments, because the opportunities are numerous. You don't need to limit yourself just to your department.
Your department, yeah.
I was sending emails to professors from other departments for assistantship, graduate research assistantship. So I was applying far and wide. And I was also applying to campus jobs, like the need tutors for the athletes. I was applying far and wide. So the thing is, you don't need to keep a closed mouth. You need to keep an open mouth. You need to constantly talk to people. So I was talking to guys, so I was getting recommendations, apply to this department. They usually phone people, apply to that department. I will also schedule meetings with my department's head. I'll talk to him. If anything comes up at the department, please let me know. So my department, they usually tell me they don't fund master's students. That is the department policy. We master students, we only stay for 2 years, and engineering courses, they are kind of hot cake. Once you're done with your even BSc, you can easily get
you don't need a PhD for that.
I believe after the masters, it is hard to transition into PhD. We don't usually stay for PhD. We just go to the work sector.
Right.
So they have the policy they don't fund master students. So the department head made it clear to me that they don't fund master students, but he's going to see what he will do about it. So I was doing well in the lab I volunteered for. I was also doing well in my classes.
So I don't want people to miss that you volunteered in a lab.
Free of charge. Free of charge.
Good. So I want people to know that you volunteer. Let them see what you can do and how hardworking you are. All right, go on.
I always go to the lab for lab meetings. I will help out with research free of charge. All this free of charge. Even weekends, because I know what I was looking for.
Right.
I knew what I was looking for. Even on weekends. So I was committed to the lab, and I was also committed to my courses also.
Right.
So at the end of the semester, I did well in my courses. So the departments reached out to me that even though they don't fund master students, they were able to see the amount of effort and time I put in during the last semester, and they are willing to offer me a graduate teaching assistantship position. That was how I got out of the loan. So once I got my offer letter, remember I still have to reach out to Empower so that they can stop the disbursement.
Right. So good. Let's go there.
So I reached out to them through email that, okay, I would like to, stop my loan just for, I only want the one for the first semester. I would like to discontinue the loan. That I now have a graduate teaching assistantship position. Then I sent them my offer letter.
Right.
And that was how I discontinued from the loan.
So let's go back a bit. And so when they contact the school and they send the money to the school, do they send it per semester?
Yeah, they send it per semester.
All right, so that's good. So now that you got your assistantship in your second semester, you easily reached out to them that, hey, I don't need the loan anymore. So I'm going to guess that probably they've only disbursed around maybe less than 20% of the money that they initially approved.
50% actually.
Really? Okay. Yeah, because it's masters.
It's a master's.
Yes. So, okay. So now that you have your assistantship, you only had to contact them and say, hey, I don't need your loan anymore.
Yeah.
But you still, I'm sure you will still have, loan payments, right?
Yeah. You still have to pay the ones that has been disbursed.
Disbursed, okay.
For the first semester's loan. Yeah.
Good. So I just want to add to that point on getting assistantships. Like I said earlier in the discussion, I also did not get an assistantship before I go to the US. That's part of the reasons I started this platform. Not because of the same reason with Sunday, but because I just didn't know how to go about these things, reaching out to professors, marketing your skills. I didn't do that. I didn't do all that. I didn't know I had to do that. But one thing I knew was, someone told me they usually offer funding. So when I got to the US, the first thing I did was to start reaching out to professors.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm here, I can do XYZ. But I had a key disadvantage because I do lab-based work and I didn't have much lab experience. So I initially didn't get it partly because they've already disbursed most of the funds for people coming in. So one thing I did that I think that was what I used in teaching you guys that, what I did was, even though I still had to do some other work, I still came to the lab to volunteer. I'll be the first to get there in the morning or come weekend. I just want to start learning these basic skills. So about a month into my volunteering experience, they just had to give this guy something. They just couldn't stand me working so hard and getting this money. So they didn't have money. The way that I knew that, they struggled to make it work was, two professors had to come together and say, okay, we are going to put resources together and fund this guy. So I think, the lesson here is, if you get this loan, don't just sit on your butt when you get here. Of course, you still have to do some work, maybe in the dining or in the library to start paying back your loans. You still have to create time. And remember, you're still studying, so it's not easy. So you still have to create time to show up in the department or anywhere you think you can get this funding and volunteer your time. And if you work hard at it, you would likely get the opportunity.
Yes. So.
All right, so let's talk about terms of the loan now. I think you were touching on it earlier. So how long do you have, like general terms, how long do you have to pay back, interest rates and all? If you have any information on that, please.
Yeah, I think I have a bit of information on that. The loan for my loan, the interest rates used to be 9.99%. Used to be 9.99%. And it's a fixed interest rate. It doesn't go higher than that throughout the years of the loan. It doesn't go higher than that. But you are eligible for interest rate discounts if you meet some certain criteria. The first criteria is if you set up auto payment plan. If you set up an auto payment plan, you get 0.50% discount. So when I got here, I set up
the interest rate, right?
Interest rate. I set auto payment plan. So I got a discount of 0.50% on my 9.99%. Then if you should make a timely payment, a 6-month timely payment, if you don't miss any payments for 6 months, you will get another 0.50% discount in your interest rate. So I was able to make 6-month timely payments without missing any. I was even paying even more than the expected payment. So I got another 0.50% discount from my interest rate. And the last criteria is when you finally graduate from the program and you get an employment, if you should reach out to them that, oh, okay, I'm done with my program and this is my offer letter. I'm currently working now for so company, you get another 0.50 discount.
Okay.
Those are the three criteria. The first one is auto payment. The second one is 6 months timely payment. And the third one is offer of employment. When you show them that, oh, I have employment now, you get 0.50% discount for each criteria. And then the other time is that you have Empower only have 10 years repayment plan. Unlike other private loan I heard about, that you have maybe 15 years, you have maybe 30 years. Empower only has 10 years repayment plan. Be it a small loan or a big loan, you need to pay back within 10 years.
Within 10 years.
You need to pay within 10 years. And they will send you their repayment plan. If you should follow the repayment plan and pay the minimum amount they ask you to pay, you are going to cover up the loan within that specified time frame. So they're going to send over the repayment plan for you. Maybe it's $400 every month or $200 every month. If you should follow that repayment plan without missing any payment, you are going to cover up the loan within the specified time frame. So yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I know where we come from, sometimes there is this negative connotation when it comes to loans, but this is a loan that will get you closer to your goals and more on the independent side. So I think it's
honestly,
I think it's fair. Looking at the interest rate.
Yeah, I had that at the back of my mind. Oh, where I'm from, Nigeria, we barely take loans. How am I going to, scale through this?
Yeah, look at you now.
When I go here and I was paying back $200 monthly, $250 monthly, I was like, wow, this is still, flexible for me. I can actually do this. And most of the Indian guys here, the Chinese guys, they take this. Like, boy, where we're from, Nigeria, we barely know stuff like this. We barely do stuff like this. So
I know. I mean, most of the Asian guys, Indians, I got to know that most of them take loans to come here. That's like the traditional way that most of them. But these are like government-sponsored loans back in their country. So it's a little different. But looking at the terms that they gave you, I don't know if it's different now or if it will be different for, you guys are listening. Looking at the terms I just talked about, considering the risk that is involved, I think it's fair. I think interest rates right now, even in the US for normal loans, can be up to 7%, let alone someone coming from outside. So that's not an advert, by the way. I'm not trying to advertise for Empower. I don't have any relationship with them. But if you find yourself in this position, I think it's a good option. But you heard that they don't support all schools. Yeah. So I don't know if it's a good strategy to start there and search for schools, but I wouldn't want you to think about funding, at least for a start. I think the most important thing is for you to attend a good program, apply to a good program. I think I said that during our time together too. Why that is important is, one, if you are at a crossroads when it comes to funding, loan companies don't want to fund you to go to some anyhow school. I don't want to put down any school, but you understand what I'm saying. There are levels to institutions in the United States. So the first thing you need to do is to just make sure you apply to a good program. And I always recommend what we call R1 universities. So if you are confused on what that term means, it means high research activity, universities with high research activity. Yes, sir. You can Google that. I can't, of course, there are a lot of them. You can just Google R1 universities in the United States. So I usually advise that you target these universities, and most of the opportunities, either for loans or even for jobs, people look at those universities, applicants from those universities differently, when you get to the job market.
That's true.
So the first thing you need to do is to make sure you qualify for admission in a very good institution. Then if funding comes with it, that's what we prioritize. We hope we can get funding. But if not, I wouldn't recommend this for PhD anyways, but for masters, I think master's students usually don't get the opportunities for funding. Just like Tunde and myself, I came for masters initially as well. So if you are in a good institution, there will be opportunities either to get loans easily approved, or when you get to the United States, either through loans or your own personal funds, there will be more opportunities in these universities to transition out of that loan to a funded opportunity like, Sunday and I did. If you go to a university that they don't have enough research activity, they don't have much, you won't get those opportunities. So you'll probably be on that loan for the rest of the session of your program. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Make sure you are qualified for a good program for admission. All right, so I'm going to take questions now. And yeah, if you want to join the Zoom to ask questions, or if you want to type it in the comment section on the live, you can do that. I think I just shared the Zoom link. So you can join and ask your questions, or you can just text us your question. So someone said, what is BVN? Yes, so I apologize. I know some people are not watching from Nigeria. So BVN, yeah, BVN is bank verification number, I think. Yeah. So that's like a unique bank account number, I don't know, for each person in Nigeria.
Bank identification number.
Yeah, bank, yes. So I know you would, if you are from another country, you will have something unique to an individual, maybe national ID number or something. So that will probably be an equivalent to the BVN. For Empower, we'll look at your country and tell you what you need anyways. But yes, if you are joining the session, please mute yourself, and you can use the reaction gestures to indicate if you want to ask questions. But let me see if I have another question. Thank you so much. I got an admission with 15% tuition remission. I was thinking of deferring. Yeah, if you got 15%, I don't know if these individuals have tried Empower. So if you haven't, probably try that. And like I said, we will try to get the names of other loan companies so you guys can explore. Okay. So another question here, tried applying to Empower and I have been having difficulty in uploading files. And how long does it take to get recommendations?
Recommendations?
I don't. Which recommendation? Did you have to get any recommendation?
No, not at all.
Oh. So yeah, Adeleke Aishat, if you can clarify what you mean by which recommendation, the recommendation letters for admission or what?
And the documents part, Empower has a user-friendly dashboard. You can just go there and upload your documents. It's really, really fast and easy.
Right. All right. So let me pause on the live chats and give Hassan the opportunity to ask a question.
Yeah, thank you so much for this webinar. And it is really helpful for people around the world, especially people from Africa. Yeah, so I'm currently in Liberia
Okay.
speaking. Yeah, I just wanted to support some of the things you are discussing. Yeah, so the last question this guy asked concerning that, I got a loan approved with Empower recently. And before even this loan, I got another one before that has been approved. So the process of getting loan from Empower is very simple. You do not need a letter of recommendation at all. In fact, the dashboard now is much easier because they ask you straight questions. Yeah, so you provide those documents that you have from your school, and then the process goes on very easily.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a problem really for Empower financing. So I got my my loan approved already, and I've accepted the term and condition of my loan. I'm a student at Emory.
Emery,
For
great.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so I just want to encourage people to go for the loan. It's good, really. The term and condition is good as well, because I'm also paying back Empower loan. I took loan for my previous master's degree. You know, I did my first master's degree in the US as well. So I took loan from Empower. I'm paying back. It's very flexible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not marketing Empower, honestly, but yeah, it's
I
my
know.
experience.
For people
Yeah.
who have no other option, I think, like I said, I think it's fair, especially what was your interest rate under your recent loan?
Yeah, it's 11.99%. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's higher than what Sunday got, but I want you guys to understand that everything in the US moves. So inflation is crazy right now. So interest rates, even for the average citizen, if you want to buy a house or anything, it's closer to 7% now. And for personal loans, I know it's probably higher than that for the average citizen. So I can understand why yours is around 11%. It's because everything is just so if you happen to apply at a time when interest rates are low, generally in the US, their own interest rates to probably move lower. So it all depends on when you lock in your rates. That's how it works in the US. All right, thank you so much, Hassan. Is that the right name?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you, man. Emory is a great institution. All right. Let me see if we have other questions. I have admission with Massachusetts for fall 2023 with no funding. Well, congrats on your admission. That's a big deal. Can the Empower loan cover for me and my dependent spouse and child? Well, good question. What do you think?
This is a very good question. Yeah, the Empower loan can actually cover for that.
So I think it will depend on what the university wants, right?
Yes. It will depend on how you put in for the loan. There's a section for the fee you are applying for. There's a section. I think there's a section for dependent fee if you need fee for dependent. Because I have a friend who recently applied for a loan and she got approved for herself and her dependent. I really don't know how she went about it. I just gave her the information she needed, and now she has the loan approved for herself and also her dependent. So I think, yeah, you can apply for that. The loan covers both for yourself and your dependent.
Right. So yeah, and I think Massachusetts Lowell might be a good school that can qualify for the loan. I don't know. So I'm not surprised that someone going to Emory got the loan, because I mean, if you finish from Emory, you will likely get a job. They are looking at the prospect of getting back their money as well.
Yeah.
So they just don't approve everyone. So that's why I said, the important thing is you get admitted to a good program in a good school. So yeah, give it a shot. Adiola, you're lucky. I think it will cover. for that. So yeah, so I think I've gone through all the questions. So I know Temitope is here. Do you have any questions? Temitope, I think I had a question online somewhere.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
A long time.
I know.
I have a question. My wife got an admission to Northeastern University, Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
For the past, I think she got it in probably April or March. And since that time, she has tried to apply for the Empower loan, but up to now, they have not gotten back to her. So I want to ask Babatunde, what will be responsible for that? Because actually, she's supposed to resume in July, but because of delay for that now, she has deferred the admission to September.
Wow.
Having submitted some of the documents that they require to submit, and also there is this credit check that is being required to be done. But the one she did, she just it didn't bring any information on credit history. But when I tried to do my own, it gave me full information about me, that I don't have any loan, my PPA and everything. It brought out everything. But our own, it's just new information fund. So I want to be responsible for that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Let me clarify something. Empower doesn't really need or require a credit score or history before approval. Yeah, they don't require a credit score or they don't require you to have a credit score or credit history before approval. So if they are requesting for a background check, maybe they want to check if you have any pending loan from your home country. And I would advise she call them directly or send them an email if there's any delay.
All right.
You with me?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, our advice she call them directly. I think calling is even faster. That way she can get to talk to them one-on-one on the phone and ask questions or ask them the reason for the delay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
As for the credit history, I think they're just checking to see if you have any pending loan. They don't really check that before the approval. Do you understand? They don't really need to have any credit score or credit history for approval.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
So do we have any information on what happens if you default on payments?
Yeah, that is one of the pros. There is no penalty if you fail to pay for a particular month.
Okay.
It's so flexible. But you just need to reach out to them beforehand. Oh, I have so issue and I won't be able to pay for this month's payment, and they will just shift it to the other month. There's no penalty whatsoever. But you need to reach out to them because of your credit history. Because the moment you start paying back the loan, you start building your credit history, your credit score.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the good things about it is
yes, sir.
As soon as you get here, you get assigned a social security number, and everything that you do financially is tied to that number. So if you default without having them, it will probably affect your credit history. So you'll be known as a bad debtor.
Yeah. So there's no penalty whatsoever. You just need to reach out to them.
Right. Okay. That history is important for a lot of big purchases in your life in future. So all right. So for the questions I had on Instagram, I think we already covered them. So I'm not going to go over them again. So any advice for UK schools? I don't know if Empower covers UK schools. I know they cover Canada and US. Do you guys have any insight on that?
They only cover schools in Canada and US. They don't fund UK schools.
All right, I think we answered that. Unfortunately, we don't have any advice on UK schools. So during your visa interview, was your interview in Lagos or Abuja? Dr. Ojo, do you advise saying the same response Babatunde gave when asked how he planned to pay the loan back? Well, put me on the spot again. Because this is a public forum and there are some things I would not be able to say publicly here. So if you want us to talk privately, I can give you some ideas, but I would like to understand what your situation is. You know, I can't just give advice. Every situation will be different. So you want to sound believable.
Yeah.
So what Tunde did was believable because he had a job, right? Yeah. And he came with the evidence for the job. So in case things wants to go south, you will have to show evidence for the jobs. But if you are not in the same, if you don't have the same conditions as Tunde, you probably don't want to say the same thing. But there will be things in your life that you might be able to take advantage of. So I want to understand what's going on with you. But if you have a job presently, maybe, Tunde's answer might, work. So was your interview in Lagos or Abuja? Do you want to quickly answer that?
Yeah, it was in Abuja.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, for people from Nigeria, I don't think there is any. Some people usually say it's faster, or people in Abuja,
nicer.
I don't know, but yeah, most of the people I know go to Abuja. You get dates faster.
Yeah.
In Abuja, I think that's just the main reason. Lagos, people say there are more rejections in Lagos, but I don't know if that's true because there are also more applicants in Lagos. So it's all about how you answer these questions, I believe. Are there other better responses to such questions when asked so one can pass the interview stage successfully? So again, like I said, it will depend on your unique situation. If you haven't seen our interview training video, it's on our website, bestmanacademy.com. So I would encourage you to start there. We talked about everything you need to know and gave examples, of people that passed, the interview and people that failed as well. So you kind of understand both sides. So you can use that to design your own experience. So again, bestmanacademy.com, check out the grad school page and you would see the visa interview training. I'm rounding up now. So if
I think we have
Yang. Yeah. Yang, I'm sorry if I need you to unmute and tell us how to pronounce your name.
It's Gyang.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you. So what do you have for us? Do you have any questions?
No, actually, he has touched every aspect I wanted to actually get clarification on, because I've tried Empower before,
okay,
and I didn't get it because I was going through another, agency called Catalyst Gem. I don't know whether you've heard of them. So it just made the process a bit difficult for me, and I had to just drop that. But I think I can still try for next fall, same Empower with what he just said. And then another fear I had was the interview aspect. But what he said, I can actually walk to around something like that and then come up with my own strategy, even though I might not use the job or something like that,
right,
to make sure I get a positive response from the view. So I really enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.
So generally for interviews, the most important thing is to show home ties. So to have a way you're going to prove home ties. Again, I encourage anyone who is going for interviews to watch, to see the training. It's not too long, but everything you need is there. All right. Fortunately for us, I got some questions on Instagram, but I hope those guys are here. Most things we've talked about the terms, so we've talked about, paying back. If you have to be on the loan, like if you are tied to the loan, for the duration of the years, but if you want to get out of the loan, you can. You don't, let's say if they approve 50,000 and you've only spent 10,000 before you got the assistantship on campus, you still don't have to pay the whole 50,000. There are some loans like that are like, you are locked in. So you need to look out for the terms of your loan. So even if you don't use Empower, make sure you understand, very important, understand the terms and conditions. Again, there are some loans that will say we've approved 50,000, and no matter what happened in your life, you have to, get the 50,000 and pay the whole 50,000 back because they are interested in the interest. That interest rate is their own gain. So they want to make sure they get their money. So make sure you understand what you're getting into. So anyways, I think that's all we have. I'm glad that this was a short session. And this was very explanatory. So thank you so much, Babatunde. Babatunde, I think if people want to reach out to you, can you tell them the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, they can reach out to me through email. Always, free and flexible in responding. babatunde.olawale@gmail.com. babatunde.olawale@gmail.com.
babatunde.olawale@gmail.com. All right. So yeah, please do reach out to him. He's the expert now.
Oh, no, sir. I learned everything from you, sir.
I'm a bit retired now. So yeah, reach out. Anybody that I bring on the on this channel, please reach out to them. They have a wealth of current knowledge. My own is old school. All right, thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who joined. I hope we can. I didn't record this session on Zoom, but I think YouTube will capture it. So hopefully it will be posted. But if not, maybe we'll arrange some other time.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyways, I appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So take care of yourself, and we'll talk later.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.